Hi there, my name's Sarah Evans and I am a theatre creator. So I have done everything from musical theatre school management, I have directed, choreographed many shows, I have produced many shows, and also I am a scenic artist, a scenic designer, props designer, costume designer, and I have a passion for the vision of theatre and making those stories come to life. So from a very young age, my father taught me to draw. My father is a brilliant artist himself. So from the time I could pick up a pencil, I was drawing, painting, and I always had a natural talent and passion for that. I've also had a very natural passion for theatre, for acting, for creating roles. When I chose my career path, I could have gone into theatre and drama and teaching, or I could have gone down the textiles and art route, which I did both at school. But then when I went to university, I had to choose either one of those paths to follow. Initially then, I did follow the path of performance and acting, and I did a drama and performance BA Honours at Wolverhampton University. And then I taught and run theatre schools for over 10 years. But alongside that, I have always kept my art and design going. So with all those shows that I would have produced with lots of children, I always created and designed the sets, the props, the costumes. And for the past few years, I have taken that more. I have had a props, set and costume company. And it's something that I've balanced with both the performance and then the design side. So I think having a career in design and an art it's a beautiful thing, but I think you really do have to, if that is the passion that you have, I believe you really do have to have absolute conviction in what you want to do. The best advice I would give is do not let anybody sway you from what you want to do. If you want to do it, then you can do it. There is nothing in this world that you cannot achieve. You just have to keep on going, and you have to have that self-belief that you are good enough, and do not let anyone tell you otherwise. Every day you have to go out and you have to find that work. So you do have to have the pure passion, drive and motivation if you do want to have a career in this field. And you can, but you have to go and get it. You have to be prepared to travel. So there is some commuting involved, because those opportunities aren't always going to be on your doorstep in your little town or your little village. You do have to sometimes look further afield, and you do sometimes have to knock on those doors. You have to go out and show people and get yourself in front of people and show people who you are and what you can do. Always go in and present your best self to even a stranger that you might not know, because that person could have something that could be for you. So in terms of skills and what skills you need to have on a day-to-day basis, I would also say as a designer, you need to have that belief in your own creativity. You need to be able to not be afraid to get things wrong. Never be precious about your work. Always be open to adapting, first of all, to what has been asked of you. So if you have a customer, they will have their requirements of what they need, whether it's sets, props, costumes. I would always say that communication is absolutely key with who you are working with. Being able to communicate, whether that's via phone calls, texts, emails. The biggest skill in this business is being able to talk to people, and also, more so than talking, being able to listen. You need to be able to listen on a day-to-day basis to what that customer or that person is asking from you. I'm always collaborating with people. It's my job to make sure that their vision comes to life in the best way. But I might know from the experience that I've got that what they really want might not work in the way they've asked it to be. So it's the way that you communicate and getting those points across without being pushy, without being rude. You can say to somebody, that's great, but in my professional opinion, I've done something like this before, and I know that with what your end goal is, it might be better if we can try it like this. So I think communication with who you are working with on every level is, on a day-to-day basis, one of the best skills that you can have, along with the creative skills that you have to physically create or design. Okay, so one thing that might surprise people about the job that I have, whether it's been a set, props or costume designer, It's hard work. It is really, really hard work. It's physically hard, and it is mentally hard as well. So you have to have that burning passion and desire to really want to do it. It is 12, 13-hour days sometimes. It is getting that set done, and it's not I'm going home at 5 o'clock. It's I'm going home when it's finished because it's going out tomorrow. It's not a glamorous job sometimes, but the overall satisfaction of when you see that set on stage is absolutely worth it. The magic that set props and costumes brings to a production is everything that inspires me to do the absolute best job that I can, especially if you've been working with children. I've run theatre schools for the past 10 years, and for me, what brings me joy and inspires me to do what I do is the magic that it brings. You are creating that world. Yes, they're performing in that world, but what you create with set props and costumes creates that world, and then you see the joy from your performers, whether it's professional adults or whether it's children. So that's what inspires me. I also, there's other people that inspire me. And the one thing I think that does inspire me, and the thing that I've always lived by, is never stop learning. Surround yourself with people that are either better or more experienced than you, because then you can learn. Always be open to learning from everybody, because there's always something or another perspective that someone can bring. There's always someone that's done this before you, that might have some advice for you, that might have some inspiration for you, and you can then go and inspire others, but there's always someone that's done it before you. So if you are coming out of college or university with a particular skill, let's take painting as an example, just think about, in the world, what you can do with painting. You can do many things. If you can paint on paper, you can paint on a wall, you can paint on people's faces, you can do theatre art makeup, you can have things in an art gallery. So think about your role, what you can do, and how many different jobs in the world you could do that with. So in this world, you will always have competitors. And the one thing that a lot of artists are thinking about now as competition, unfortunately, is AI, because technology has just grown and developed at a catastrophic level, I think, in the past couple of years. AI now can do the job of so many humans, and I think that's put a lot of fear into people. However, what I will say is that, yes, AI can generate certain things, but what it can't do is it can't give you heart, it can't give you passion, it can't give you someone's real human motivation and skill behind what they're doing. Projection can do the job now of, say, 10 theatre cloths, and that is great, and it does look brilliant, and it can solve a lot of problems. But the last few shows I have done, we have used that projection, the companies that have had that projection, but they've married that with physical pieces of set, physical pieces of moving set that make that projection look 3D. So I think the collaboration of the technology now within the industry and that classic real design with real physical things from a physical person, I think if you can marry those two together, it does work beautifully. Matilda, which was a brilliant show, done with the Star Project Theatre School, which is the school that I ran for 10 years. We did that at the MAC in the biggest space that they have. I had a giant storybook flat like this, storybook flat that had, it looks like a giant book basically. We had 50 to 60 boxes hanging from the ceiling, all stacked up looking like letter blocks. And the costumes were just one of the most favourite things. One of my favourite costume to date to have made is Miss Trunchbull's coat. I got a traditional vintage greeny brown Mac, and all those things, those devices and things that she has on it, if you kind of look at the new film, I made that myself, and it was one of my favourite costumes. So Matilda was a brilliant one to do. Also with the Star Project Theatre School, I did Beauty and the Beast. That was the last show that I did with them. I created a whole castle And again, the costumes that come all together, being able to do the makeup, the prosthetics of the beast, that was one of my proudest moments. And seeing the kids' reaction when the curtains opened and they saw their set and their props was one of my proudest moments. I think my biggest creation to date was the Les Mis set. I made the barricade out of real items out of my unit. So I had steps, I had crates, I had carts, I had chairs, I had hat stands, and this was on 2 huge trucks that came together. So I made this barricade out of all these items that are kind of drilled together. I created spaces for the kids to go under and shoot. Obviously it had to be stable because one of the students who plays one of the main roles has to die and kind of sort of fling back above it. It has to be run on and jumped on. So in terms of safety, I had to make sure it was absolutely secure. But on the other side, so when you turn them around like that, they come together, they sit at either side of the stage, and they are painted and cut as like bombed, like house fronts that have kind of been a bit bombed and war-torn. So once it's there, and once it's there, and you cannot see the barricade behind it. It's completely concealed. And to make that safe, to make it work in the theatre space, to make it work for the kids, to make the reveal happen, it was my biggest creation to date, and that is what I'm most proud of. So if you have just come out of university or college and you are looking to go down the theatre route, the biggest piece of advice I would say to you is go and get experience. When you come out of college or university, please don't think that you know everything already. Nobody knows everything. Go and get experience. You might not be on the highest pay grade straight away. I would also say you have to work your way up. So you have to put yourself within the vicinities of people that can teach you more and more. Don't be afraid to go and get experience. Go and ask people if you can shadow them at a theatre. Go and ask them if, go to Birmingham Rep or wherever, go to the Hippodrome, go and speak to people. Don't be afraid to knock on the door and say, please, can I learn from you? Because the more you learn, the better you will be and the better jobs you will get. And that is what I would say. Go and learn. Go and learn from people and knock on the doors. And don't ever take no for an answer.